Danny Rarity here. The Buffalo Sabres have a lot of huge decisions to make, including in the net. There's a really popular trade idea going around right now, and then there's also one that I think is absolutely crazy, but just might work. Stick around to the end, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So first, let's take a look at where we are right now. Of course, we have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Alex Lyon as kind of our main presumed tandem, followed by Colton Ellis, who, during the press conference, you have Lindy Ruff and Jarmo both saying they like that three-goalie system. So most likely, I would say we're going to have UPL, Lyon, and Ellis all in the NHL, and then you have Levi chilling out in the AHL. There's always that potential, especially with the way goalies development works. Levi could just out of nowhere have a crazy year. There are some unconfirmed reports that Levi is just completely done with the organization, and I don't think anybody would blame him, and I don't think the organization really blames how, I guess, they've treated him, because he hasn't had a stellar AHL kind of performance. He was kind of shaky in the NHL after the first year he was up. And now we have three goalies who are all doing pretty decent. I do really like Ellis, so it's really hard for Levi to be able to crack that roster. So I don't blame him. I can see him being packaged in a trade somewhere. But that's really where we're sitting right now. So the big idea that's going around that is a hot topic of discussion for Sabres fans is gonna be Connor Hellebuyck. Is Connor Hellebuyck really the solution to our problem that we need? Now, these are this is like the stats, but really everybody knows who Connor Hellebuyck is. Everybody know what he does. The main thing for me is that his contract is a little over $8 million, and he's also 33 years old. And he's also, not to mention, coming off one of the worst kind of save percentage seasons that he's had in his career. At the very least recently. And I mean, you can definitely chalk that up to the Jets defense just absolutely pooping a brick out there, they were not good. And obviously the Sabres have much better defense. So in my opinion, that would probably build that save percentage back up. Less of a workload on Connor Hellebuyck to carry the team like he has been in Winnipeg for a while. Well, not, or defensively at least, not obviously. They're a very good scoring team, but that's kind of how I see it. I think if you put Hellebuyck into the Sabres system where he's still able to have great performances, but less relied upon to be a goalie god all the time, I think that would work really well in theory, right? So the main things that appeal to me about Connor Hellebuyck is the fact that he's a veteran. He's been through it all. He's even been through playoffs, and he hasn't had very great playoffs, but again, I think especially in the playoffs, you can ramp that up to being, just the defensive style of the teams just not being that great. I mean, don't get me wrong. He also has had just absolute mega stinkers in the playoffs as well. But I also feel like he's just always been the one to carry the pressure for this Winnipeg team. And if he comes to Buffalo, that's less pressure on his shoulders. If you look at the 5-on-5 stats here, you have 9-12% in close situations. A place where the Sabres really got burned against Montreal specifically were in those close situations in high danger chances. And Connor Hellebuyck, still at age 33, still in a down year, very good in those close situations. So I think that alone, his 5-on-5 play, Sabres are a really, really good 5-on-5 team already. Put Connor Hellebuyck in goal, that can make us even better. But obviously the big questions are going to be coming around playoffs. Is he a playoff performer, or is he a playoff dud? He's 33 years old. And not to mention the contract's $8 million. So you would probably have to move out. If you're trading for Connor Hellebuyck, you're probably looking at giving up Luukkonen or Ellis/Levi. I would think Luukkonen's probably going back at the very least to make money work, or money to make more sense. But then you're probably, in addition to that, giving up someone like Ellis or Levi. Depends on what direction the Jets want to go. If they're more so going towards a rebuild, then they would probably value someone like Ellis or Levi. But I can also see them wanting someone like Lyon, and then your veteran stable goaltender, and then getting a younger prospect that they can kind of develop here through the years to try to take over that net in a couple years. So I can definitely see either of those situations going out if we do get him, but like it's probably going to cost two goalies plus more to get Connor Hellebuck, especially to make cap work and stuff like that. And I think it has potential. The big idea I wanted to throw out there, really interesting, super big swing. I mean, if you want to shock the world, if you want to just do something crazy, just to do something crazy, this is what you do. I'm talking about sending an offer sheet for Columbus Blue Jackets goalie Jet Greaves. Hear me out. Generally, he was pretty consistent throughout the year, and I think especially someone like the Sabres would probably value that consistency a lot. And now, what you're looking at for the for an offer sheet, just to throw something out there, if the Sabres offer him like a $7.5 or like $8 million offer sheet, the Sabres would have to give up their first, second, and third round picks in the next draft. So, disclaimer while editing this, I just double checked and we don't have our second round pick for next year. So, like at the current moment, like post draft, we can't technically offer sheet him, but if we're trying to make the cap space work, you know, like 8 million, kind of the same as Hellebuck, we would have to definitely make some trades. And I feel like in one of those trade packages, we could definitely find a way to get a second round pick some way, somehow. So I don't think that's like too big of a hurdle to get post draft. But there's some reasons why I don't think that's like too big of a price to pay for a team like the Sabres. Like, one, we already have a logjam of ready to go prospects. So this is almost like the perfect time to do it. And then not to mention, if you can, I mean, I'm sure you'll probably have takers for goalies like UPL, Lyon, if you choose to move on from them, stuff like that. Probably more so like UPL, Ellis type thing. But I feel like those contracts are movable, especially given this last year and how desperate some teams are for goaltending. You could definitely move them. And if you bring in, you know, Jet Greaves kind of on that same price range that Connor Hellebuck would be, he's younger. And let's look at his stats, because the stats are really interesting as well. So he played more games, a lot more games than UPL, kind of more comparable to like Connor Hellebuck in that sense. But look at this stuff, right? Mid-range has a higher save percentage than UPL in mid-range scenarios. Again, a place that really burned us in the playoffs. And then you look at, holy moly, the 5-on-5 save percentage, just higher for season, higher in close situations where we got burned. And he was facing on average more shots per 60. I mean, 34 of his 55 starts were above 900 save percentage. And so if you take that into account of all of his starts, he had a higher above 900 save percentage than UPL. And UPL was like 22. Excuse me. UPL was like 22-9. Jet Greaves he probably has pretty good potential. Like in all things considered. And especially for a Sabres team that's coming off a playoff loss, I think this is really not a bad idea. And if you look at Jet Greaves versus Alex Lyon during the regular season, it gets super, super interesting. Higher high danger chances, save percentage for Jet Greaves. That's what we got burned on. And it just goes on, like even 5-on-5 save percentage, equal in close situations. Higher for the season. Much more quality start percentage above 900, 55 for Lions, 64.2 for Jet Greaves. Lower GAA, higher overall save percentage. I mean, just barely. And save percentage isn't like the do-all, but also the Sabres have better defense better like overall defense than the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. I mean, to me, everything points to Jet Greaves might be a really good fit if we can find a way to fit that contract in. If we offer sheet him for something like $8 million, and I mean the only thing is the would be like the cap situation for Columbus. Just taking a quick look at the Columbus's roster situation right now. Currently, they're projected to have 34 million in cap space for next season, which is a lot of cap space. Mason Marchment, they have, Boone Jenner, Adam Fantilli is going to be the big one that they have to pay this offseason. Cole Sillinger will probably get a couple million. Danton Heinen, contracts coming up as well. Eric Goodbranson, if they do bring him back, right shot D-men are kind of getting paid lately. So, like, they do have a decent bit of, free agents that they might want to sign. So it's gonna be really interesting. I do think in the end they would probably match an offer sheet if it was like in that 8 million range. And if you go above that 8 million range, you're giving up a lot more draft compensation. So, in that sense, like you really got to think about that and what you want to do and how far you really want to actually go with the offer sheet. But like, I guess in theory, if you have intel that they're like doing something or making a trade and you think you could sneak it in, I think offer sheeting Jet Greaves would be could be an underrated and incredible future move for the Buffalo Sabres. Let me know what you think in the comments below about Connor Hellebuck, Jet Greaves, or any other situation you might have come up with that maybe nobody else thought about. And we'll see you in the next video.